What's up? Week 11 is on the rise, and we just completed week 10. We have so much to talk about because we are here on Wednesday, as always, with my girl. Beth is in the house. I'm here. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, all the things. Go check us out over on Instagram as well. We always hold our Rate the Fits. We share our recipes, all those things over there. Beth, my girl. How goes it 3 days after our epic weekend?
I am tired, y'all. I am not 25 anymore. It was so much fun, though. I cannot say more good things about our trip to Tampa. For those who did not hear, this past weekend, I hopped in my car and drove the 6.5 hours down to Tampa, to go watch Coach Desi's team, the San Francisco 49ers, play Tampa Bay Bucs. And not only did we do that, but we crammed all the things in there. So it was so much fun. We were out till midnight every night. I'm exhausted. I got home and went straight back to work, and I'm ready for a nap, but let's do this.
Awesome. Well, I will tell you, it was a fabulous weekend. Started out Friday, went down to the Straz, saw some Moulin Rouge live, stayed past my bedtime that night, and then my girl came into town Saturday. Man, we biked, we had lunch, we went to the spa, we went and saw Gabriel Iglesias kill it at the Amelie Center downtown. Went out after, like, who even are we right now? And then Sunday was epic. We had this amazing tailgate. Gosh, my neighbors that we went with, they are like legit. They showed up. We were unpacked in a record of like 10 minutes. And I mean, tent was up, carpet on the ground. Yes, carpet. Like they are like other level tailgaters. We had table up. I mean, just everything was set to go. So it was a good time for sure. And we roasted in the sun on Sunday's epic game, Bucs at home against the 49ers. And it was fantastic. So we pulled off a W. It was a little rough special teams wise. Like we muffed a punt, or a punt return. We couldn't get a field goal to save our life. All the things. So, Gabriel's in the house. Who's joining us tonight, Beth?
That is my son. He is, earlier today he said something. He said, "So how long have you been doing this?" And I said, "Well, this is our second season." And he said, "Well, how many subscribers do you have?" And I said, "I'm not really sure." He's like, "Well, I'm going to go on YouTube." Or I think he said, "Why are you doing it on Zoom?" And I said, "Oh, no, we're on YouTube." And he said, "Oh, let me go find you." So he was watching earlier episodes earlier today, and now he is hanging out, listening to us live today. So,
yay! Well, thanks for
joining. And we were not talking about you, Gabriel. We went to go see Gabriel Iglesias, a comedian.
Yes. Although we need to have you come hang out with us for a game sometime for sure.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Yay. All right, so let's get into it. Week 10 did not disappoint. I am going to tell you guys that Thursday's game, OMG, it was the showdown. It was Lamar Jackson. It was King Henry. It was Burrows. It was Chase. Lamar. Like, if y'all had Chase on your fantasy team, y'all would have beat my team with all my players on it. And I know that's not saying a lot, but literally Jamar Chase was doing his damn thing. That game came down to the wire. It was a shootout. We have a new segment on here, and I can't remember. I'm going to see if I have to play that for the segment. I had a different Lamar meme ready to go, but I can't do this to you guys. I'm going to have to give you the one that I actually sent to my husband because, if I can find it, I bet you I won't be able to find it. I don't know where I send so many memes to so many different people, but we'll talk about it in that segment. But did you watch that game? Did you watch the Thursday night game?
I did, because I was glutton for punishment, because I didn't think I'd be up till midnight every other night the rest of the weekend. It was so good. It was so good. I tried, and I wanted to be done, and I wanted to leave and go to bed, but I couldn't. It was so phenomenal.
It was a great game.
Down to the wire, down to the end. I can't imagine being Joe Burrow and having the game that he had and not winning.
It was crazy. So just to recap what Beth said, Joe Burrow went 34 for 56, went 428 yards, guys. 428 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, QBR of 108. But Mr. Lamar Jackson said, hold my beer, because he had 25 on 33 attempts, 290 yards, 4 touchdowns as well, no interceptions, but his QBR was 141.4. He was far more efficient, but what a damn game. I mean, just great game. That was like a great start to week 10 for sure. So
and
then we
to a lot of close games all season, all weekend. A lot of these games came down to the wire.
Absolutely.
It was crazy.
No, it was good. I love when that happens, because that makes for, entertainment. So good stuff. Good stuff. So what day? Let me see. So we're going to carry this on. We talked a little bit about the Niners game. But Beth, while we were at the Niners game, you were such a trooper, because your Bills were playing at the same time. And so interestingly, if you guys watched us last week, you'll see that I actually picked the Broncos to beat the Chiefs. I thought they were going to bring them down. And I was like, oh, it was halftime. We were in the stadium, and I'm
so
like,
close.
Look at it. I'm like, the Chiefs are down, bro. But you guys know, I don't hold my breath with him. As long as Patrick Mahomes has anything more than 13 seconds, I won't believe the score until it's less than 13 seconds. Any games shock you this weekend, or do you want to talk about your Bills game?
Well, we'll talk about Bills first for a minute, because fortunately it was not as close as the last game they played. So that made it a lot easier to watch the game we were at. It was nice. We've got a family chat, a Buffalo chat group, text thread. So while I was at the game, I sent a picture of us all at the game and said, hey, keep me in the loop. Keep me updated with all the scores. So I got them in real time before they were up on our board. So it was fun to kind of keep track. But what was very cool about this game is it's the first time since 1998 that Buffalo has won in Indianapolis. So they won 30-20 fairly easily. But again, it wasn't, as you said, it wasn't as pretty as a lot of the other games were this season. Anthony Richardson was benched. He wasn't playing. Joe Flacco was quarterback for the Colts. He threw 3 interceptions. We got a touchdown and I think a field goal off of that. Josh Allen threw for 280 yards. He rushed for 50 yards, but he also threw 2 interceptions. What I think sealed the game for us is our defense really held up well this week. We had Von Miller back, and while he didn't get any sacks, he did a great job pressuring Flacco and keeping him on his toes. And I think just having him on the field really brings up the morale of our defensive team. We played this game without Amari Cooper, without Keon Coleman, and it didn't matter. We had Khalil Shakir, we had Matt Collins, James Cook. They all did what they needed to do to continue our winning record right now. So it was a great game. And a pretty cool little stat is that Josh Allen just tied with O.J. Simpson for the most rushing, or for the second most rushing touchdowns in Bills history, with 57. So he is on track to break the Bills franchise record for rushing touchdowns.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, we were definitely keeping an eye on the game from the stadium, and we were like, we're going to get to that, Gabriel. Hang on. we were looking at the score and was just, you were kind of like, what is happening in this game? Because the score was just not as electric as we thought it was going to be. So Gabriel wants me to go back and talk about how I was almost right about the Chiefs game. He said, so we're not going to talk about how the Broncos quarterback outplayed Mahomes. Bless your heart. And we need to know who the Broncos quarterback is. Who is that?
You got it, Gabe? You got it?
You got it? Who's the Broncos quarterback, bud? He's going to come up with it. He's a rookie quarterback, which is phenomenal, who went toe-to-toe with Mahomes. I think the Broncos defense is just playing at a different level, and it's just incredible to watch them play. So it's Bo Nix. I don't know if you're still trying to look it up, Gabriel. I'm just going to say it's Bo Nix. Bo Nix is doing a heck of a job there for the Broncos. So, and speaking
of which, he did outplay Mahomes for sure.
He for sure did. Oh, he said I am. The other game, speaking of rookie quarterbacks, the Steelers-Commanders game, I need to go back and watch that one. So that game ended 28-27, and Russell Wilson just can throw a beautiful deep ball. And, you know, it's so interestingly, I want to take this moment to just give all the flowers to Coach Tomlin. Coach Tomlin is the GOAT. Like, I really thought about this the other day, and I'm like, if I were a player coming into the league, of all the coaches in the NFL, Tomlin would be high on my list. Like, he does the things right. And what I love about him is he only does what he truly believes. He's not going to bend to the media. He's not going to bend to probably ownership or what other people think that he should do, because there was so much talk about him starting Russell Wilson over, oh my gosh, what's the kid's name? Played for the Bears last year. His name is...
I don't know. Where is Sherry when we need her?
I'll think of it here in a second. It'll come out of my brain. But he, when that happened, there was so much controversy, so many people talking about, you know, why he would do this, because Justin Fields, that's his name. So because Justin Fields had done a pretty good job up to that point. But, you know, real coaches can see what talent they need at what time in the season. And what I love about this is there was so much pressure on Justin Fields last year as a rookie quarterback for the Bears, and that the Bears organization is just a trash organization. They just don't know how to develop athletes. It's just a sinking hole. How many quarterback careers have attempted to start there and never blossomed, right? So Justin Fields gets moved over to Pittsburgh. It's like, hoorah, he's got this whole thing going down. And then they say, oh, Russ, we're going to pick you up too. And it was a head scratcher even for him to do that. But then to start Justin Fields, well, I mean, Russ kind of got hurt, whatever. And so Justin Fields takes the helm. He does a good job and then says, hey, Russ, we're going to put you back in there. Like, I'm going to be real with you. There was a number of Steelers fans that I talked to that was like, yeah, I don't love this. Right?
I think there were a lot of fans, not just Steelers fans, that were like, is this the right call? Is this... It didn't bode well given how well Fields was doing, right? Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it type of thing.
Right.
But apparently he knew better than the rest of us. Guess that's why he's getting paid for his job.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So shout out to Mike Tomlin. You are the GOAT. You are the man. You know, I don't think we ever sang. We kept rooting for Russ. I think both of us, you know, kept saying even last season, like, oh, we felt so bad because he had just this crap season last year. And, you know, good for him. I love to see him win. You know, his wife is my crush, so we're all good there. And it was so cute because she did a video. She was all dressed to the nines. Their son was there dancing in the video after celebrating the win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's see. Any other games we want to chat about? If anybody watched the Vikings Jaguars game, I would love for you guys to chime in, because what happened there? I thought the Vikings were going to lose that game. Like, would love to know. I didn't get to watch that game.
And why would they ever? All I know is that Sam Darnold threw 3, maybe 4 picks or something like that. And so that's the only thing. But still, how does that even? I didn't know that the Vikings could only score 12 points in a game.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's some real, as we're starting to do our picks, which, by the way, I want you to talk about our picks from last week. As I start to do the picks more and more, I'm kind of like, I find it where it's like some of these games, I just feel like you and I are picking the same teams because it's against teams that are just, you can tell they don't have a future for the second half of the season. It's just, they're already looking at disassembling their teams and people are getting picked up. But, the Arizona Cardinals put it on the Jets. That was 31-6. The Eagles put it on the Cowboys. That was 34-6. And may I just take the time, how painful it was for me to see Trey Lance get in there, have an opportunity, and he threw a pick. Like, I just wanted that kid to do so well, and it just hurts my heart. The Lions-Texan game, that would look like that was a good game, 26-23. I watched the highlights from it. And CJ Stroud just looking to get back on that W track. So I think that wraps up.
Covers it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into some fun stuff here. Let's go into, let's do this first. I just love that little song. I always want to start dancing. All right. So Rate the Fit this week. The people have spoken. And, I don't know if it's just it is what it is, but people like the clean look. I'm not going to lie. People are liking the clean look. And this week, the winner goes to the Saints. The Saints have Jawan Jennings, who he has this nice clean fit, man. He's got the polo sweatshirt. It's like in a white, off-white color, and he's got these sleek, nice, what is that, brown pants, the white shoes. He's got the white hat. I mean, it's just it's a classic look. You can't go wrong with Ralph Lauren. So congrats to you. You are our Rate the Fit winner of the week. What are your thoughts?
We still need to give a quick shout out to the Muppets jacket.
Yes.
Can you post that just real quick? Because I'm sorry, this has to be seen, because it is, at first glance, you don't notice it. It takes a minute to come into focus, or maybe it's just because I'm tired. But it took me a minute to really grasp the true beauty of this jacket.
Yeah, so this was, hold on, I'm bringing it into, the Wi-Fi wants to be slow. It's Caleb, Chicago's Bear quarterback. Hang on, here we go. He wore, and you're right, it was subtle. Like, if you didn't really kind of, and I don't even know if you're watching us live on YouTube or on Instagram, it might be a little difficult to see because it's really tiny. But you can either go to the Chicago Bears Instagram page to get a better look at it, or I think it's also even on his personal page. A Caleb is his Instagram handle.
It's also on our pages. It's on our pages. It's on Girlfriends in Football. Yes. We've got it. We've got it up there. You were going to show it.
What am I talking about? Go to our page, Girlfriends in Football, on the gram, and it'll be on there. So here we go. I am bringing it up right now. So wants to do a virus scan now. So he showed up. He has this jacket on that's got the Muppets. Here you go. You can see it.
There we go.
It doesn't, from afar, you can't really appreciate it. He's got these like puffy pants on that are in, like, it's a brown puffy pant. I think they're pink shoes.
Ski pants.
Yes, it kind of does give, it's giving ski pants. And then the jacket is kind of almost, I don't think it's a puffer jacket, but it's got like orange and it's got all these beautiful colors in it. And then as you like enhance the picture, you can see that it's got all these Muppets faces on there. It was really cool. So, all right, we'll give you the runner up there, Caleb. So we'll give him the runner up. So, all right, so let's carry on. Beth, it's your turn to share our cocktail mocktail of the week. What you got for us this week, sis?
All right. So this week this is my baby. I've worked really hard for this. This also goes along with the game of the week this week. This is Allentown. So as you may or may not have known, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. And Josh Allen is our quarterback. He also has a pistachio farm. He was a farmer growing up. His dad owns a farm. He now owns a pistachio farm. And so I wanted to do a little shout out to him. So this is my own cocktail that I created by myself. This is the first one. It took lots of attempts to make it perfect. But it's got Weller's bourbon. Upon research, a neat bourbon for Josh Allen is one of his favorite drinks to have. Some Domaine de Canton, which is a ginger liqueur, pistachio syrup, and lemon juice. It is so good. We have been doing a lot of sweet drinks lately, so I really needed to take a step away from that. So that's why we kind of did a bourbon and ginger cocktail. So it really is very refreshing. It's a good winter cocktail with some pistachios, a little nutty flavor to go along with our farming friend.
I love it. And I love pistachio. Like pistachio ice cream is one of my faves. It's low-key one of my faves. So I actually do want to have this drink. And for those of us that don't drink alcohol, woo, this recipe is going to heat you up. Beth, share what our mocktail of the week is.
So this comes from a commercial, and Josh Allen is made the Buffalo Pepsi famous in Buffalo. I don't know how many people have actually drank it or tried it, and Gabriel was just asking where his mocktail was, and I have no problem making this for you later, sir. It is Pepsi, Frank's hot sauce, a celery stick, and a rim of blue cheese if you choose. What is so great about this is what I read is it's kind of like a cherry Pepsi or a cherry Coke with a little bit of spicy heat. I have not tried it. I cannot guarantee that that's the case, but truthfully, I think we will try it. I think it's something I have not had a chance to make it for my son yet or my daughter, but I do believe this is going to have to happen in our house one of these days.
Love it. I don't know if I love that drink. Talk to me about Frank's hot sauce. It has to be that brand. Is that like a Buffalo favorite? Like, is that
that is what typical Buffalo hot sauce is made out of, right? So Frank's hot sauce is just their typical, it's the brand that you use. It is the straight hot sauce for wings. And then you can spice it up or spice it down, but that is, if you're having buffalo wings, you best have it with Frank's.
All right.
None of these lemon pepper, none of these other fancy ones. Well, I like them, but if you're going to do buffalo wings, they've got to be just hot.
All right. Sounds good. So moving right along, we're going to continue to talk about Buffalo folk because we're going to go into our next segment, sports and medicine. So this week there continues to be different injuries that happen, but we're going to specifically speak about the one that is ailing your player, Kincaid. So talk to us about Dalton Kincaid's knee injury.
Okay, so like we need one more player out with an injury, right? So Dalton Kincaid was unable to finish the game this week against the Colts. It has not been officially reported, but based on the mechanism of the injury, it appears that it's probably a PCL strain. He was trying to make a catch downfield, and he landed on his left knee, and he left the game for a few plays, attempted to return, but then ultimately didn't feel like he could play and protect himself the rest of the game. So he was out for the remainder of that game. And it also sounds like he'll be out this upcoming week, but nothing is – no, actually it came out today. He will not be playing this week. So what is the PCL? It's called the posterior cruciate ligament. It's circled on that picture there for us right now. And it connects your femur, your upper leg, to your lower leg down at the tibia. And the purpose of this ligament is to prevent the tibia from moving backwards relative to your femur. So your lower half of your leg moving backwards from your femur. So it happens often with that high impact, your knee onto a flex knee, right? So when he hit the ground on that flex knee, his tibia slid backwards away from his femur. The difference between this and like an ACL sprain or an ACL issue is the ACL prevents the opposite movement. So your lower leg moving forward. So that's when you get hit in the back of the knee or in the side of the leg. That's usually the ACL injury. So with this PCL injury, he is probably experiencing a lot of instability in the knee, which is why why he said he tried to come back in and then felt like he wasn't capable of returning and keeping himself safe. The PCL is actually a lot stronger than the ACL, and injuries there are frequently less common, unless you're playing football, I suppose, in these type of injuries. You'll see it in like a football injury such as this, or you'll see it in like a car accident where your knees hit the dashboard, things of that nature. There is hope because it is such a strong ligament. Chances are it's not torn. And because of the way he was able to stand and move on it afterwards, chances are it's just a sprain. With that, we're looking at – go ahead, Desi. You look like you had something to say.
Oh, no, not at all. Oh. You're doing great.
So what I was going to say is that, all right. So chances are he'll be out for 1 to 4 weeks, which at this point isn't a terrible thing. Hopefully it'll be closer to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. This week against the Chiefs. Next week, Bills have a bye week. And then we get back into the season week 13. So hopefully he'll be back by week 13 to continue on with the season. We've got and finish out strong through into the playoffs. Now is probably the best time for all of these injuries to be happening with our players so that they can rehab and get back to football and be healthy for the other end of the season.
Perfect. I know that our bye week for the 49ers definitely helped us as we got Christian McCaffrey back. Deebo was back in action. Nick Bosa played. I mean, he was kind of injured, not necessarily before the bye, but we got our kicker back. And that's kind of what I want to say next. Who's in the news? So at the game Sunday against the Bucs, the 49ers on the sideline, there was a scuffle. Deebo kind of took his hand, pushed our kicker and kind of said, lock in. And the long snapper, Tabor Pepper, you could see, if you can read lips, you know exactly what he said as Deebo walked away. So it was kind of a not so pleasant scene. These are things that happen in football, but, it set Twitter nation all on fire. There's lots of opinions being sprouted everywhere. Kyle Shanahan after basically was like, yeah, it happens, kind of like, kind of saying that Deebo just needed to, he said lock in, like he needed him to get his mind on straight. And after that situation happened, then that's when our kicker, Money Moody, as we call him, wasn't that money that day. He missed 3 field goals, but the game winner was on the line. He kicked it through the uprights. I think there might have been this much space between the ball and the goalpost.
It wasn't pretty. But it got the job done.
Wasn't pretty, got the job done, thoroughly ticked off the big guy in front of me that was spraying his saliva everywhere. But anyway, so it was a whole situation. And, you're a mom of a football player, a young football player. You are also the wife of a oh, we'll get to that. I got to bring what Gabe says is classic, but you're also the wife of a ref. And so I want to hear your thoughts on that situation. Like, what do you think about what Deebo said, the interaction? What are your thoughts?
Emotions run high in the NFL. Emotions run high for players all the time. I think that probably could have been a conversation for the locker room later. I think, those things are going to happen. I try and teach my son that, what the ref says goes, no matter what. This is where we're at, and life is not fair. A game is not fair, and situations are going to show up. You've got to overcome one way or another, right? So, and as the wife of a ref, he's not going to change his mind. I mean, there are things that are just going to happen, and you just have to deal with it. So while I understand the emotions, I don't think it was necessary, right? Like, who wants to start that on the sidelines with your teammate?
Yeah.
At that stage in the game, right? Especially when things aren't decided yet. Game's not over. Things aren't done. You got to just suck it up and keep moving forward.
Yeah. So Deebo's a captain, and I would probably say, I don't know what their relationship is like off the field to be able to navigate, I think that matters. I think that if you're good teammates otherwise and an incident like this happens, you're going to be able to brush it off the game, right? But if you already have tension and you don't have a good relationship, then this could be, definitely something that is more of a fracture versus just a, just a brush off, right? So if you're trying to motivate somebody and you're like, lock in, like maybe you're hitting the helmet and you're like, that kind of thing, it's like the hand placement kind of went to the neck. It was kind of weird.
It was more aggressive than motivating,
Yeah.
I think was what happened. And I think that's the problem, right? Like, motivate them to all high hell, right? Like, put them through it, tell them this is what needs to get done. But there is no need, there's no need for that.
Well, and I'd also say that Moody is still like he's young. I mean, this is only his second year in the NFL. Like, he is young, and if he's just come off injured reserve, high ankle sprain, which we actually need to cover high ankle sprain because it's not your standard ankle sprain. So if you're out here judging him about, oh, he just had a sprained ankle, y'all, this is not your run of the mill looking cute in your high heels and you twisted your ankle. That is not this injury. This is a different kind of ankle sprain where even the most minimal movement will be pretty painful. And now you're talking about coming back that with that injury on your standing leg. So when you're kicking, all your body weight is on that leg. And I think he came back after only 4 weeks out. So typically it's a 6-weeker. Like, when you get a high ankle sprain, it's usually more like 6 weeks. And I think maybe they pushed it because it was a bye week. They thought, okay, let's give it a try. And bro, he was kicking how many field goals that day? Like, he missed.
It wasn't like it wasn't like you guys were in the end zone a whole lot and he didn't have to do anything.
So, I mean, I'm going to give grace all the way around. I can see where Deebo was frustrated. All the fans were frustrated. It was a super hot day. I'm sure Moody was frustrated with himself, right? But also, like, he's coming back from an injury. Like, I'm just going to give a lot of grace around, all the way around. And it is what it is. It's football. Now,
and I do not believe, as you said before, I don't believe that this is going to fracture anything or create an issue down the road. I think this is just a one-off in whatever capacity it is. And maybe he needed that. Maybe he needed that, like, reset too, and maybe Deebo knew that. So we'll see.
Right. I agree. I'll also say the other news that came out was after the Cowboys loss this weekend. Micah Parsons started flapping his jaws a little bit. And he said after the game about his coach, Mike McCarthy, this was his quote. That's above my pay grade. Let's see. Let me see if I can say what.
I did not hear this.
You didn't?
I am very interested. I did not.
Oh my gosh, this was going crazy.
You got to also remember, I showed up back from our trip and basically like jumped into work and tried to like get everything caught up from not being around. So you were asking me things and I was like, girl, I got nothing. I was like, I am lucky I'm getting home at like 7, 8 o'clock at night. And you're like, well, can you do? I was like, no, I can't do anything. I got nothing. So no, I did not hear any stories about this.
Okay. So I love that this is the first time you're going to hear this then. So Micah Parsons was being interviewed by media in the locker room following the game. And he says, that's above my pay grade on if Mike is coaching again next year. Mike can leave and go wherever he wants to, but the guys I kind of feel bad for, like guys like Zach Martin, guys who might be in their last year on their way out, because that's who I wanted to hold the trophy for. You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So those are the kind of guys that I have so much sympathy and hurt for.
Wow. Well, yeah. All right.
Right?
That's intense. So, that's one that you don't come back from in the locker room an hour later.
And we're talking about also a team captain. This is one of your star athletes on the team talking about the coach. Like, there's no kind of like
whole lot. No, I mean nothing good comes from that.
No, it's a dumpster fire.
You can't undermine your coach like that. You can't undermine the coach like that.
So you'll love this. So then I watched Get Up on Monday, and Rex Ryan is on there, and he's just slamming him, right? Like he's Rex Ryan, ex-NFL coach, Hall of Famer, like the whole 9 yards, right? Yeah. He's just like, there's no way you ever say that. And especially as a leader on the team should ever say anything like that about Mike McCarthy, who's actually taken a team to a championship, right? Like has actually done things. And there's no one who works harder than the coach. Like they sleep on the couch in their office. Their family doesn't see them the entire season. Like, there's a whole thing. So he goes on that rant, and I haven't specifically heard what was said, but on Micah Parsons' podcast, he shreds Rex Ryan. Like he
really
basically says, this is all hearsay. Don't kill me. I'm going to go back and listen. But if you want to find it, go to listen to his I don't know that I'll ever listen to Micah Parsons' podcast. I am a Niners fan. I could care less about the Cowboys otherwise. But apparently he kind of said something like Rex Ryan was, he's just hurt because he wanted the job in Dallas and never got it. So he's trying to like angle it like that's why Rex Ryan would say that. Not because there's any validity in what he said, of course, right? Like, oh my gosh, don't accept the
wow.
Yeah, the blame for what you said and blurted out, So I don't know if anybody wants to comment and let me know, if they listened to that, what was said or what, if you guys have any thoughts on it, please share. But I do want to share this because your son said after we were talking about the bye week, he would like a bye week for school.
How do we feel about that? He gets that. The same week Buffalo has a bye week for Thanksgiving. Get a whole week off, son. Whole week off. Enjoy.
There you go. All right. Well, let's talk about that because I think that's going to be, hold on. I want to do this first. This is our new segment. And I want to wow you with the new segment. So this is the new segment.
Oh, yes. I'm excited.
Guys, we're going to launch this for the first time here. And I wish I had something a little bit more fantastic, but I've got 2 things to show you here. So this is our new segment. So we're going to share some fun memes, have a little fun with this because honestly, when Beth and I aren't having fantastic weekends and forgetting our minds and everything that goes with it, I'm constantly sending her memes and she's constantly sending me stuff. So this is one from the Thursday night game. Lamar Jackson is all bundled up, and it's 67 degrees. It says it's 67 degrees in Baltimore tonight. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson, and he's got about 5 coats on and his beanie
And a
hat.
hat. All the things. I wonder if he's got hand warmers in there too somewhere.
Lamar Jackson is my spirit animal. This is what I'm going to look like when I go to Buffalo to watch the Niners-Buffalo game. Only I'm going to have 10 layers on and 3 hats on.
Because it's not going to be 67.
That's true. It's not going to be 67. The other thing that I want to share with you guys, I think I mentioned this last week. There's a person I work with who is a big time, he's a big time Chiefs fan. And I printed this up and gave it to him. Where is it? I don't know why I can't get this to pop up. I don't even know how to set. Oh man. Okay, I'll read it to you. Those of you that can't watch us anyway, I'll be able to tell you what it is. It's a picture of Steve Carell from The Office, and it's a blank face. Very just would rather like he wants to stab himself with
his usual face.
A needle in his eye, right? And it literally says, NFL fans watching the Chiefs continue to win in the luckiest ways possible. So that would be our memes of the week. So again, sorry guys that I don't have that set up for you, but oh, we've got some folks on Instagram looking at us. Yay! Shout out to Matt. Go Bills. We've got Sherry saying, hey, gals. Sherry was with us at the game on Sunday. I'm sorry for your Bucs, love. So that was fun. It's so fun when us ladies can get together for a tailgate and really support each other through it. What's up, Terrence? I see you. Appreciate you guys checking us out and listening. I just realized I can't see the Instagram stuff unless I actually click on Instagram stuff. So, all right. So let's get to our game of the week. All right. I think we're in agreement. The game of the week is going to be what game, Beth?
Kansas City, Buffalo.
Damn right, man. It's time to bring those Chiefs down.
The entire country will be watching that game at 4:25. No, I'm not kidding. Like that's the only game being broadcast at 4:25 this week.
Do you know what I appreciate about this?
What?
That it's 4:25. that I'll be able to stay awake for an entire game.
Right. It's not a night game. I know my husband was like, I can't believe it wasn't flexed to like Thursday night or Sunday night or I was like, thank God. Like, I can't handle that kind of stress in the evenings. I can't do another weekend where I'm up till midnight. Like that's not going to go well. I'm going to be honest about this game. Can I share some thoughts?
Share them.
I'm real nervous, but I'm not concerned in the long run. So here's the thing. We are down lots of players this week. We just talked about it. No Keon Coleman, no Amari Cooper. Kincaid's out now. Matt Milano's still not playing yet, but his practice window is open, so he's on his way back in. But here's the thing. Buffalo has won 3 out of the 4 last regular season games against the Chiefs, right? But we can't get them in the playoffs. So as much as I want us to just wipe the floor with them, knock out their 8-0, 9-0, whatever their record is right now, whatever that is, to give them their loss, I'd almost give them this win if we can take them out in the playoffs.
Ooh, I'm feeling that.
I'm pretty sure we're going to meet them up in the playoffs again. I do believe that that's going to happen. So I I am willing to concede this game if we can get the win in the playoffs. But I am not stepping down and saying Buffalo's going to win.
She says that. However, if you look at her picks for the week,
because somebody's got to do it. Because somebody's got to do it. I'm not saying I don't want them to win. I'm just saying if we don't, maybe that puts some good juju on the playoff end.
Okay, listen, I'm tracking. I'm just full of hate right now. My hatred heart, my black heart, just every week that the Chiefs win, it's just like, it just grows darker and darker. Huh?
And they're winning poorly. They're not winning well.
I know. But I mean, it's such a testament to the skill and talent of Patrick Mahomes.
The referees.
Oh, those are the memes I should have put in here. There was another one. Oh, God. Okay, now I have to tell you guys this one. So there's a meme out there. Those of you who are, just live on football memes, you've probably seen it. But it's, they won off of the kick being blocked, the whole
I saw that
of the line just fell, and then it led to the blocked kick. So there's a picture of the collapsing, and they like airdropped a referee like flying in to block the kick, and it was just so darn good. So yeah, if you're interested, go check out some of those stats on the refs and Chiefs games. It's kind of, it can lead you to think there's some WWE action happening in the NFL, but whether you're,
I don't truly believe that that's the case. It gives us something else to talk about other than the fact that they're winning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this could be the week. This has been circled on my calendar for weeks. So let's go ahead and continue on. I know I jumped ahead. That's not usually the first slide I start with. Usually I start with this one, where Thursday night's game is tomorrow. It's in Philadelphia, and they're playing the Commanders. We both have picked the Commanders. I will say I was gonna circle Philly, but guess what? I'm a Niners fan. I can't circle Philly, so I went with Commanders. Let's go, Jade and Daniel.
They're coming off a bye week, so I figured they've gotten some rest. I figured they were ready to roll again. So yes. Especially for Thursday night, Eagles are going to have a short week comparatively. So
agree. So we both picked the Commanders. If you're looking at the graphic, the picture, the arrows are Beth's choices. The circles are mine. Again, I'll post these on our Instagram page later this week, so you can see them. Actually, I'll post them before game time tomorrow. The next game is Packers are playing the Bears in Chicago. I don't think this is hard to think, hard to pick. We both picked the Packers. The Bears, their offensive line just fails to protect their young quarterback and Caleb Williams. It's a shame. So, and they just fired their offensive coordinator. So how do you not pick the Green Bay Packers in this game? So that's that. Carrying on, Jags are playing the Lions in Detroit. We both picked the Lions to win.
That better not be a game. That's all I'm saying. It just better not be a game.
Got a little too close last week, but we also, same thing, Vikings and Titans. So the Vikings played Titans in Tennessee. We both picked the Vikings to win that. And then actually we both picked all the same teams. I'm just realizing this.
I'm surprised. Yeah. A lot of these games I wasn't 100% sure on my pick. So
yeah. And then Raiders are playing the Dolphins at home in Miami. Well, not for the Raiders. It's home for the Dolphins. So we both picked the Dolphins to win that one. And there are some Tua memes out there. I don't want to share those. I don't want to talk about him. I don't even want to watch games with him playing. It's just too traumatic for me. So that's all I got to say about that. Carrying on. We've got the Rams playing the Patriots. We both picked the Rams. So it's a home game for the Patriots. We have the Browns playing the Saints. I know. I'm disappointed. I thought the Saints were going to have a better year than what they're having, but it is what it is.
Every time I look at the picks every week, I look since it's like, oh, they're doing well, and then I'm like, no, they're not. They're not doing well. I don't know what this. You're right. It's been a rough year for them.
Yeah, and the Browns now, I feel like they have maybe new breath of some new.
Mm-hmm.
They got some new breath, new breathing room, I think, or whatever you want to call it. They're turning a new page. Now that they have Jameis Winston at the helm there, I think that's bringing some better juju back into their space. So we've got the Browns, we've got Steelers at home against the Ravens. This is going to be probably game of the week
A
number
great
two
game.
choice for me.
Yeah, that's going to be a good
So
game.
yeah, for sure. So you picked the Ravens. I picked the Steelers. And I hate myself for that because I'm starting to really love Lamar Jackson. So, for those who don't know, my husband's a big Ravens fan. I've watched the Ravens for years now with him. I was raised in Baltimore. I should be a Ravens fan. I just can't be. My grandfather was a Colts fan. So when the Colts left Baltimore, like he just couldn't bring himself to cheer for the incoming
That's
team. So
fair.
I've kind of stayed with that. And plus, I was kind of born a Niners fan. So there was never going to be a chance I was going to switch over to the Ravens. All that to say, I've been watching Lamar closely, and I really respect that he's gotten so much better in the pocket. King Henry has just really taken a lot off of his shoulders. And I really respect the guy. And every time I see his presence, either with the media, on social media, like he's a low key, super cool dude. I think he's one of my top, if I could pick 5 people in the NFL to meet, he's on my top 5 to meet. Josh Allen is too. Don't worry, sis. But I think he's super cool. So I picked the Steelers mostly because you picked the Ravens, and I just wanted to have a couple of different choices.
Throw things up a little bit. Absolutely.
Yeah, shake it up. Then you got your Falcons are playing the Broncos in Mile High. So I have the Broncos. I mean, they almost got me a win last week, so I'm going to ride with Broncos. What's that?
Kirk Cousins is really taken to the Atlanta lifestyle though. So I feel like he's going to be here for a minute and we're going to roll with it. That was another meme. Did you see that one of him on day one and his last press conference? It goes along. It's very similar along the lines of Mike McDaniel's and the Dolphins, like where he was at the beginning when he was hired and now.
Yes.
It's nice to just see players and staff just slide right into the culture.
Oh my gosh, I was literally going to talk about McDaniel in Miami, so I love that you brought that up. And then finally, we are the Niners are home, and we're playing the Seahawks. So, guys,
home game.
This is big. And the only worry I have is our cornerback, Charvarius Ward, has been able to lock down DK Metcalf and just freaking strap him up. But as we know, he has taken a leave of absence from the team from the loss of his beautiful daughter. So we will see how we're able to compensate for that in this game. Defensively, we're doing decently. I would have liked to have seen a pick at the game this past Sunday, but it is what it is, or punch out, something like that. But maybe we'll get fancy with it against the Seahawks at home. So we both picked the Niners. Moving right along, we'll go back to, we already said we both picked the Bills over the Chiefs. Chargers are at home against the Bengals. This is another team, the Bengals, I keep thinking they're better than what they've been doing. And I feel like the Chargers maybe are starting to get a little bit of a boil going. They're kind of starting to maybe do a little percolating and doing a little bit better. So I picked the Chargers, but you stuck with the Bengals.
I did. I mean, so for 2 reasons. I feel like my brother is in Cincinnati, and I sent him a text message during the last game. I was like, I feel like I'm in an abusive relationship with the Bengals, right? Like I keep showing up, hoping for a different result, keep coming back, and it just doesn't happen. And watching, I mean, how, again, Joe Burrow had what game and they still lost? Like, the bad luck streak's got to end at some point. So, yeah, I'm there for the Bengals.
All right.
Hurt me one more time.
And I have to ask you about this. You picked the Jets at home over the Colts. I mean, I guess this is like, I mean, picking the lesser of two evils. Yes, I don't know what.
I mean, listen, Aaron Rodgers needs a bone right now. Something. I don't even like the man, but like he's rough in New York.
Sherry, I hope you're listening to this. I want you to know she picked the Jets. Like it's crazy. But that leads me to another thing that I saw on the internet this week, and it was a picture. Remember when Devontae first was announcing? Like it wasn't even like he barely got announced that he had gone to the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers was doing the interview with McAfee, and then all of a sudden Devontae comes out behind him, and like that. There's a picture of that, and it's like this aged well. Was like, yeah.
Like I kind of feel like, because we already know, right, that like they're not going to have a season, right? So there's like part of me that's like, just can we give them? I mean, I feel like I got to throw them a bone for real. Like that's where I'm at. Like
I'm just, foot on the neck. That's where I'm at. So let's go.
And it's
Joe
at home.
Flacco.
And it's at home.
Let's go Flacco. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, we're going to round out week 11 with Monday Night Football. The Texans are playing them boys, who I think I should have said used to be them boys. So we both picked the Texans. I don't think this is, I don't think this is even debatable. So
it's also,
that
I can't pick the Cowboys. So
yeah, no one can. That's it for this week. We had a lot to share, a lot to go over. I was supposed to have a special guest. We'll make sure we have her on next week's podcast. So come join us again next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're always going live, both on Instagram and on YouTube. So check us out on all platforms. Make sure that you're definitely following us on Instagram so that you can vote on Rate the Fit, and you can see our recipes, and you can definitely give us a hard time about our picks. Let us know if we got them right or wrong. But that's it. So guys, have a good week and happy football.
Bye.